As an American, I eat apple pie, play baseball under its blue skies. As an American, I travel this land and follow her roads wherever I can. From sea to shining sea, I've seen a lot, and none of it will be forgot. And when my country called, I gave my all as an American. I was born into freedom in a wonderful land of mountains and plains, rivers and lakes. Forever American is what I am. A past as rich as any can be. My father's worked hard to give this to me. I love.
Hello. How you guys doing tonight? Welcome to Real News Live. Good evening. Hopefully my voice is coming through okay. Hi Brenda, hi Richard, hi Debbie, hi Latif, hi Mike, hi Linda. How you guys doing tonight? Please hit that share button if you're in here. Got a lot to talk about tonight. This deal with Russia is getting bad. A clash is imminent between Russia and the U.S. at this point, as the U.S. is sending more weapons to Ukraine that are going to cause more diplomatic problems. I mean, we already know this. A direct clash with the U.S. and Russia is imminent at this point. Just exactly when it's going to happen will be a different question. As Biden announced today or yesterday that the U.S. will deliver the Ukraine a $625 million military aid package, and the package risks a direct clash with Russia. Knowing that, the U.S. is saying an imminent threat to strategic interest in our country. I mean, for Ukraine. The new U.S. aid to Ukraine risks the direct clash with Russia and two Russian diplomats have already warned this. I mean, it's a perceived threat that's an imminent threat. And the U.S. has supplied military products. Not only entails protracting bloodshed, but new casualties, but the increase in danger of direct military clash between the Russian and the Western countries. This is bad. This is not good. Hi Mackenzie, hi Wanda, hi Debbie, hi Nana, Michelle, hi Melinda, hi Rodney. How you guys all doing tonight? And this is just the beginning. I mean, look at what's been happening between Russia and the U.S. saying things and Russia saying things. I mean, both sides are putting on a big show, a big lie. But the question is, what will Putin do if he's backed into a corner? And that's where we're heading. I mean, we're heading to Putin being backed into the corner right now. And it's not looking good. I mean, you've already seen what OPEC or Saudi Arabia and Russia decided today to agree to massive cuts in oil output. Today, OPEC announced that we'll be announcing a 2 million barrel a day cut in oil production. The amount will drive oil prices and gas prices back up after weeks of a downward trend. Of course, this is in partnership with Russia directly. It's crazy. Hi, Amber, and hi, Jeff. How you guys doing tonight? Hi, Karen. But I don't say hi to you. I didn't see your name come in. I'm sorry about that. Of course, the White House calling this decision short-sighted and said in a statement the administration would deliver another 10 million barrels from the strategic petroleum oil reserves to the market next month the continuing release of oil from the strategic reserve is just ridiculous. The president keeps ordering more oil out of it, and we barely have anything left. What happens if we actually hit a war? We actually enter a war with these people. This is crazy. OPEC includes, 13 organizing from petroleum export countries members and 11 non OPEC members. In a statement, the group justified its decision today due to uncertainty that surrounds the global economy and the oil market outlook, which they have legitimate concern. If nuclear war were to start, I mean, the amount of oil usage would go down drastically. You have less people. Gas prices are going to go up everywhere. Gas prices are going up because of a hurricane. Gas prices are going up because of what they're talking about now. I mean, this is a drastic amount of oil, 2 million barrels a day. Dumping our reserve oil like it's nothing. I mean, the world consumes about 100 million barrels of oil a day, so taking 2 million off the market will have a noticeable effect. It will. Use 100 million barrels a day, that's what the world burns. I'm sorry, Mitchell, sorry. It's hard. Sad what's happening. $4 a gallon is or higher is going to be the net, or $5 a gallon is going to be the average. I mean, this is ridiculous. $2 million barrels a day cut out of the market out of the 100 million barrels used. That's 2%. Going into winter season, when we know we're going to be burning more oil, more people are going to need oil for heat. The most usage is, of course, during those months. We usually go to around 130 million barrels. 130 million barrels a day during winter months for the world usage. During the northern hemisphere's winter, at least. So this is going to be a drastic turn of events. And OPEC, of course, working with Russia, shows that we are not on the right side of things right now. OPEC, of course, the chair for OPEC says it's basing its energy revenue is now critical to its war efforts in Ukraine. Despite sanctions, Russia hasn't experienced a huge decline in production, which they haven't. And that could change by the end of the year. That's what they're hoping anyways. But here's another thing. That was pipelines, that all of a sudden Russia, blaming Russia that they attacked their own pipelines. Then why is Russia working so hard to get them back online? I mean, all of this points to a deeper problem. I mean, putting us directly at odds with Russia by putting weapons that obviously bring the situation close to dangerous lines with a direct military clash between Russia and NATO. I think they're waiting to invoke Article 5 before, of course, midterms. Russia's already put laws in effect on the annexed parts of the country for Ukraine. I mean, Russia's annexed these parts and pulled out, meaning they're going to only defend these parts if they get attacked, which means they give a total different weapon usage and a total different fighting for war or doctrine of war. I mean, if they're protecting annexed parts of the country that they are part of Russia now, I mean, the U.S. is giving now heavy weapons to Ukraine. I mean, Washington's directly participating in this conflict at this point. This is getting scary. Yeah, well, there's hiring signs everywhere. That's not the problem. The problem is they want to hire somebody for less than they can afford to work. The latest military aid package that is announced Tuesday includes more of the HIMARS advanced rocket systems, the weapon credited with helping the country gain momentum against Russian occupying forces, as well as other artillery systems, ammunition, and armored vehicles. Now, here's the thing. Russia... Here, Grandpa's okay. Right here. But Russia, of course, is the artillery capital. I mean, that's what they do. Yeah, they're sending all 3 other advanced systems as well, long-range rocket systems that could easily hit Moscow, which is a big problem. But we'll get into that here in a minute. But that's what, of course, is the direct military clash between Russian and Western countries could be falling on. If we send weapons there that can hit Moscow and Ukraine decides to use them against Moscow, and Russia decides to use heavier weapons or even a strategic nuclear weapon to stop Ukraine from hitting or doing anything else in its wake. I mean, all this is leading up is the U.S., of course, and everybody's saying Russia, of course, hit their own pipeline. I think this is looking like a false flag operation by the West, by NATO. Whether it was the U.S. that did it directly or a NATO nation that hit the pipeline, I think it's all in the works. I think it's all in the works. I think this is a false flag operation, and then we're going to set off a tactical nuclear weapon somewhere in Ukraine, blame it on Russia, allowing a full-scale invasion into Russia and a full-scale war. That's not too hard to push out there. I know Russian subs and Chinese ships and Russian ships out of Alaska. That's one thing. This is a play, a banter. We know the United Nations and the UN and the U.S. and many other countries are dismissing the move as blatantly legal, or as a blatantly legal land grab. But there was reporters actually interviewing people voting on these referendums. And I've seen videos all over of these reporters. You can't post them here in the U.S. They will get taken down immediately. But if you go on any internet that uses a VPN, you can go ahead and look directly at news reporters that were in Ukraine during these votes, interviewing people. They wanted to become part of Russia. They were out there voting for it. People say, oh, the votes were staged. The referendums were staged by Moscow. That was not the case. That's not the case you see. That's not the interviews you hear from actual reporters out there on the streets, taking interviews from people, just random people in line when they voted. I mean, they were formally annexed today. The paperwork has been signed. I mean, this gives a whole nother meaning to what happens next. I mean, the U.S. could be we get more involved and NATO gets involved and they decide to hit. They can say anything they want. The thing is, we are not the world's police. We are not the world's police. Ukraine was part of Russia. We agreed a long time ago that none of these nations, like 13 nations that are part of NATO now, would never become part of NATO because they were within the border. Yeah, the same people, the same American media that told you there was no evidence of illegal voting in 2020 said that the referendum vote is a sham. Thank you, Billy. We definitely appreciate that. You guys calling in and talking is definitely appreciated, but it's crazy. This is what's happening. Russia now, of course, is using Iranian-made drones in recent weeks, and they're explosive-laden drones that can stay in the air for long periods of time before diving to hit targets. So, I mean, this is a big game changer. Russia is not part of that international treaty. So that's another thing. You can say anything you want. Like, we can say we're going to annex Taiwan from China. That doesn't make it legal. Just because the US says that's the law does not make it the law. That's something a lot of people do not understand. This is a serious turning point, though. Watching what's happening with Russia right now, I mean, Russia and OPEC are standing together. I mean, NATO doing this whole if Russia strikes our supply trucks and Ukraine, then it's over. Yeah, OPEC and Russia today announced they're working together with dramatic cuts in oil production. 2 million barrels a day. I think the U.S. is looking for a false flag operation to cause more issues. And then we got North Korea launching more missiles today over a U.S. carrier just about 30 or 40 minutes ago. North Korea launches more missiles over the U.S. carrier that got redeployed there. Just happened. Oh my God. Yeah, I watched the whole Biden garbage today. That was just ridiculous. I don't know. I don't know why we're involved in this crap. I don't even know why we're even joining in. But North Korea just about an hour ago launched more missiles over the U.S. carrier that got redeployed there. Nobody's in a good position right now. Nobody. Yeah, Biden was caught on open mic saying no one fucks with Biden. I don't think he even knows who he is. And he was telling the mayor, oh, hopefully everything, though, gets start recovery here in the U.S. and Florida. We got so many problems of our own. Yeah, the pay for play with the Bidens is ridiculous. We can't even talk about that. Can't even get into that because we're on social media, which is just ridiculous. But praying for the people here in Florida to recover quickly. I'm here down here. We're trying to get as much help as out there as we can. Yeah, no other news station will speak about it. That's the problem. Is the pay for play is there? The evidence is there. I mean, the evidence is on the laptop as well because the books were on the laptop. Nobody talks about that though. That was information we got out before the laptop even got to the FBI. Yeah, I'm down here in South Florida. It is bad over there, I'll tell you that, though. It is a lot worse than what you just see on TV. A lot worse. But it's sad watching what's happening. I mean, the U.S. is basically following a leader that doesn't even know what he's doing. Taiwan doesn't even know if it can rely on the U.S. for defense. As today, they said they will not rely on others for defense because they don't know what they are. The DEFCON status has not changed right now. I don't think they're even worried about that. I don't think anybody has even mentioned DEFCON status updates recently. Hasn't changed since February. Has not changed since February. Which is crazy, but DEFCON status in Europe did change to a 2, of course, because Biden is saying the U.S. and its allies will destroy troops and equipment in Ukraine. It will sink the Baltic Fleet, or the Black Sea Fleet, directly from Russia. This is a back alley war. Actually, we can be at a 3 and be at war. DEFCON status is more of a direct related to nuclear or doomsday. Doomsday clock. They should just put it at 0 because we know where that's heading. We know where that's heading. That's just a sad point at this time and manner. I mean, watching what's happening is ridiculous. I mean, we're going to enter the danger zone on our stock market pretty soon. We know about that. The government's spending money at alarming rates, not just here in the US, but everywhere in the world. What wine goes best? I think like a 62 Merlot. It's just sad watching what's happening. It is. It is sad. Mortgage rates are almost hitting 7%, with little sign of falling anytime soon. Of course, Fed's plan on raising rates again, making mortgage rates probably going even higher. Nobody can afford anything. As we speak, nobody can afford to even get in a mortgage at this point. I mean, once we hit 10%, I mean, it's pointless. And it's sad because this is just a problem that our government has created at this point. Russian, or the media, that of course, that came out during the annexation of the regions of Ukraine that got annexed. I mean, the Ukrainians that were there, I mean, they're saying that they want to be part of Russia. What's Russia again? I don't think Russia's even pushing this. I think at this point, the West is pushing this more than Russia. And I hate to say that. I am not a fan of Russia. I am not a fan of dictatorship at any point. But the truth is there. Proof is there. I mean, at some point, I mean, you keep beating a horse, eventually it's going to kick you. And that's what's coming. I mean, it's getting worse and worse. Biden just seems to completely overlook everything. Yeah, It's 12%. A 12% mortgage rate on $100,000 is $12,000 a year just in interest. That's on a cheap home, $100,000 home. So when you get into a home of $250,000 a year, I mean, your monthly mortgage payment's going to be over $4,000 a month. People can't afford that. That's the alarming truth. God bless you guys. Thank you for being with us tonight. It's sad. It's sad. Oh, well, we hope all you guys are getting better and get better. It's not a rumor. A lot of military equipment and soldiers have been moving around in the U.S. And we'll keep an eye on that as it goes forward. But the Biden administration needs to admit that what they did to the pipeline. They need to admit it. But God bless you guys. God bless America. We got to stay strong and stay true to each other. And if you can afford to donate, please do, because we got a lot of people to help out. We have a lot of money going out and not a lot coming in. But God bless you all. God bless America. Good night.
As an American, I eat apple pie, play baseball under its blue skies. As an American, I travel this land and follow her roads wherever I can. From sea to shining sea, I've seen a lot, and none of it will be forgot. And when my country called, I gave my all as an American. I was born into freedom in a wonderful land of mountains and plains, rivers and lakes. Forever American is what I am. A past as rich as any can be. My father's worked hard to give this to me. I love this place I come from. To live another way I cannot foresee. As an American, I eat apple pie, play baseball under its blue skies. As an American, I travel this land and follow her roads wherever I can. From sea to shining sea, I've seen a lot, and none of it will be forgot. And when my country called, I gave my